God has an urgent message for you today. You're getting married, and suddenly everything seems to be going wrong in ways you never expected. This isn't just wedding stress or cold feet. It's spiritual warfare that has erupted around your engagement. Dark forces are attacking your relationship because your union threatens their plans for destruction. Evil spirits know that godly marriages create powerful spiritual foundations that can change generations. This message comes with divine love to help you understand why chaos has entered your life. The moment you said yes, you're under spiritual attack because your marriage matters to the kingdom of heaven. As you hear these words, know that God sees every spiritual arrow being fired at your relationship right now. It's normal to feel overwhelmed or wonder if you're making the right choice when problems keep appearing from nowhere. But remember that you're being watched over with heavenly protection. These attacks are actually confirmation that your marriage is divinely blessed and ordained by God. The enemy only fights this hard against what threatens his kingdom of darkness. You're receiving this warning because there's still time to put on your spiritual armor and fight back, even when wedding preparations feel cursed or your relationship feels under siege. Trust that this spiritual warfare is proof of how powerful your union will be. Understanding what's really happening gives you the weapons you need to claim victory over every demonic assault against your marriage. As you think about your engagement period, take time to examine the unusual problems that started appearing after you got engaged. Just like a storm suddenly hits a ship that was sailing smoothly, spiritual attacks have targeted the foundation of your relationship. The moment you committed to marriage, look at the signs. Family members who were supportive suddenly turning against your union, unexpected financial problems right before the wedding, health issues that came from nowhere, or communication problems between you and your partner that feel unnatural. Hold on to your love and commitment to each other, but let go of fear and confusion that these attacks are trying to plant in your hearts. Just like soldiers build a fortress, to protect what's valuable, you need to build spiritual walls of prayer around your relationship before the enemy does more damage. This warfare isn't meant to destroy your joy but to prepare you for a marriage so powerful that hell itself trembles at your united prayers. This spiritual warfare around your marriage is more than just bad luck before your wedding. It's a spiritual checkpoint that tests the strength of your covenant before God. It's a time for you both to connect with your faith and find courage to fight for what God has joined together. Face these attacks with united hearts and ready spirits, knowing that marriages blessed by God always face opposition from darkness. There's a loving plan at work in your union, and sometimes that plan includes spiritual battles that prove your commitment to each other and to God. Difficult times might be hitting your relationship right now, but see them as chances to grow spiritually as a couple. Every prayer you pray together becomes a lesson that makes your marriage stronger and your faith deeper. When wedding stress feels overwhelming or when problems seem too big to handle, reach out together in prayer for divine intervention. God is always here to give you both strength, wisdom, and supernatural protection over your covenant. In your united prayers, you'll find the power you need to defeat every scheme of the enemy against your marriage. Remember that couples who pray together create spiritual fortresses that no demon can penetrate. As we've discussed recognizing spiritual warfare around your marriage, I'd like to help prepare you for more divine guidance about relationships under attack. If these messages about marriage spiritual warfare resonate with your hearts, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to receive more warnings and blessings for couples facing spiritual battles. Pay attention to the specific patterns of attack that have emerged since your engagement announcement. These aren't just coincidences or normal wedding stress. They are demonic strategies sent specifically to destroy your union before it begins. As you look back over recent weeks or months, notice how certain problems seem to come in waves or target your weakest areas as a couple. You might experience sudden opposition from family members who were previously supportive, friends trying to plant seeds of doubt about your partner or ex, relationships unexpectedly resurfacing to cause confusion. Financial problems might appear right when you need money most for wedding expenses, or health issues might attack one or both of you during this important time. You might notice increased arguments between you and your partner over things that never bothered you before, or feel like outside forces are constantly interrupting your time together. Trust your spiritual discernment about what feels natural versus what feels like spiritual interference. That quiet voice inside warning you that certain problems don't feel normal is your connection to divine wisdom about spiritual warfare. When you sense that arguments are being fueled by something beyond a normal disagreement, when you notice timing that seems to perfectly destructive, or when you feel like unseen forces are working against your happiness, that's the Holy Spirit revealing the enemy's tactics. These warfare moments are truth speaking through your spirit, showing you exactly what to pray against. Notice these patterns, bring them to God in prayer, and let divine revelation guide your spiritual battle strategy. Remember, you're not fighting this spiritual battle for your marriage alone. God is with you both, surrounding your relationship with angels and divine protection that's stronger than any demonic attack. Round your union stands an army of warrior angels, spiritual guardians, and heavenly intercessors, all working to defend what God has blessed. This warfare against your marriage is designed to make you both stronger, not to destroy what God has joined together. And every part of this spiritual battle is under divine control. Feel thankful for this revelation about spiritual attacks, for it shows how precious your marriage is in God's eyes. Each prayer you pray together brings you closer to complete victory over every scheme of darkness. The universe itself celebrates godly marriages and fights alongside couples who choose to honor God's design for covenant love. Heaven has assigned special protection over marriages that will produce godly families and change communities. Your union carries spiritual significance that goes far beyond your personal happiness. It's part of God's plan to demonstrate His love to a watching world. Divine timing. God's perfect clock is working in your marriage situation right now. When you receive this warning about spiritual warfare at exactly the moment, when attacks are intensifying, that's sacred preparation at work. These moments show you're connected to God's protective plan for your marriage, living in harmony with divine guidance even through spiritual battles. As these warfare patterns become clearer to you both, let them build your confidence that your marriage is worth fighting for. Each confirmation of spiritual attack actually proves you're being guided toward a union that will impact God's kingdom. Pay attention to these spiritual experiences and trust their message about your relationship's importance. They aren't random wedding problems. They're part of a loving warning system designed to equip you for victory. Keep your hearts open to these divine revelations about your marriage. The more you recognize spiritual warfare, the more powerful your prayers become. Understanding the battle means you can fight strategically rather than being caught off guard by the enemy's schemes. Just as you receive these divine messages about marriage spiritual warfare, your support helps us continue sharing similar guidance with other couples under demonic attack. A small super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or $50 allows these critical warnings to reach engaged couples who feel like their relationships are cursed, but don't understand they're actually in spiritual battle for their God-ordained unions. As you prepare to fight for your marriage against spiritual attacks, believe that this warfare can lead to amazing spiritual growth as a couple. Just like gold becomes pure when it's refined through fire, your relationship gets stronger when it survives the flames of spiritual testing. Before your wedding day, God allows these battles strategically, even when the timing feels overwhelming. At first, focus on building spiritual unity because that sacred connection is what carries couples through every demonic assault. When you stay committed to praying together and keep your hearts open to God's guidance, miraculous transformation begins in your relationship. Things you never thought possible start happening between you: deeper intimacy, supernatural peace, and unbreakable trust. Every step you take toward fighting together brings you closer to a marriage that can withstand any storm. Stay authentic in your faith, because your covenant with God becomes the foundation that no devil can shake. Your relationship with each other through Christ is your greatest weapon against every scheme of darkness targeting your union. As you prepare to defeat every attack against your marriage, make it a daily habit to declare together, "Our marriage is divinely protected and blessed by God." Speak these words with complete faith each morning before you start your day. This simple practice builds a supernatural shield around your relationship that no demon can penetrate or destroy. When spiritual attacks intensify or when wedding preparations feel cursed, pause together for a moment. Use this time to quiet your hearts and reconnect with the divine power that lives inside your covenant. Trust that God is working everything out for your marriage victory, and begin each day thanking Him for choosing you both for this sacred union. When you fill your conversations with faith declarations and spiritual warfare prayers, you create an atmosphere where miracles happen in your relationship. Practice binding the spirits of division, confusion, and destruction that try to separate you. Learn to loose God's peace, love, and unity over your engagement period. Your united faith becomes the weapon that destroys every assignment of hell against your marriage. During this spiritual battle for your marriage, you're not just growing as a couple, but also becoming warriors who can help other relationships under demonic attack. This experience offers you a chance to show God's love by sharing your victory testimony with engaged couples facing similar warfare. Each day gives you new opportunities to strengthen your spiritual armor and encourage others who feel like their relationships are cursed. As you pray for protection over your union, remember to intercede for friends and family members whose marriages are also under assault. Your breakthrough can inspire and encourage other couples who might be suffering in silence from spiritual attacks they don't understand. Use your story to bring hope to someone else's relationship darkness. Embrace each prayer as a chance to build a community of couples who fight together, creating a network of spiritual warriors who stand against every scheme of the enemy. In this battle, we grow stronger together, supporting each other through intercession and testimonies of God's faithfulness to His covenant promises. In closing, as we face these spiritual attacks and whatever the enemy throws at your marriage, let's move forward with supernatural victory and wedding joy. Be prepared to welcome God's protection over your covenant relationship. Face every demonic assault with united faith, and recognize each blessing that comes from surviving spiritual warfare together. Trust in the power of agreement in prayer, and in God's commitment to defend what He has joined together. You are both on a path to marriage victory, surrounded by divine love and strengthened by spiritual battle experience. Keep declaring, "Our marriage is divinely protected and blessed," and watch as God's power destroys every work of hell against your union. If this message has helped you understand the spiritual warfare around your marriage, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more divine guidance for couples under attack. Hit the notification bell so you never miss warnings or blessings meant for your relationship. When you share this message, you help other engaged couples recognize spiritual warfare instead of blaming each other for problems. Dear Lord, please give engaged couples supernatural strength to face spiritual attacks and the wisdom to recognize your hand protecting their unions through every battle. Grant them victory over all hell breaking loose against their marriages. Amen. If this message has opened your eyes to spiritual warfare or helped you fight for your relationship, consider showing your appreciation with a super thanks of $5 $10, $20, $50, or more. Your support helps us continue sharing these vital warnings with couples who need spiritual weapons for their marriage battles. Share in the comments what spiritual warfare topics or marriage protection messages you'd like to hear in our next video. Tell us about your own victory testimony if God has already given you breakthrough. Your suggestions and stories help us bring you the guidance that strengthens marriages under attack.